Hey there, thank you for joining me for today's practice. My name is Paula. Today's sequence is lovely and gentle. We'll work through the whole body, but it's great anytime, but particularly lovely in the evening when you're trying to unwind and settle down. We'll use a bolster if you've got one for today's practice. If you don't have one, then grab a couple of firm cushions instead. That's completely fine. So make sure you're nice and comfortable and warm, and then let's start in a seated position on your bolster or your cushions. Whichever leg in front is fine. When you're ready, just placing the hands down onto the thighs, closing down the eyes. Just making any little adjustments just to make sure you feel nice and comfortable. Starting to take a few deeper, fuller breaths. And taking some time here just to notice how you're feeling and how your body's feeling. Making space for whatever is here to be here. Allowing the muscles of the face to be soft and shoulders dropping away from the ears. And then when you're ready, let's blink open the eyes and bring the legs up. So you're standing down onto the feet and coming into your malasana position here with the legs. So feet slightly turned out, knees a bit wider than the hips, holding onto the shin bones, and just use that as a little bit of a lever to help you lengthen up through the entire spinal column. Just take a couple of breaths here, dropping the shoulder heads down, crown of the head lifting up. And you can keep the eyes closed or just slightly open down to the ground. And then let's release that right arm, tucking that right upper arm on the inside of that right leg and place the right hand down. And then let's peel open that left arm up towards the ceiling, looking up towards that left hand. Keep squeezing in through that inner right thigh as you just gently press out with the upper arm. Take an inhale and then exhale. Let's swap it around. So we're going to tuck that left upper arm to the inside of that left leg, palm that left hand down, peel open that right arm, looking up towards that right hand. Dropping that left shoulder away from the left ear, taking another inhale, and then exhale, swapping it around. Tucking that right arm in, peeling open that left arm. We just move through. Inhale, and then exhale. Left hand down, right arm up. Inhale, and then exhale. We'll just go one more time. Right and left. Inhaling, and then exhale. Inhale, and then exhale. Releasing it back to center. Elbows to the inside, palms, the hands pressing together. Keep lifting up out through the lower spine. And the back of the neck is long as well. You can hold it here in your prayer variation, or if you want to take a broken wing or your double broken wing, back of the left hand onto the side of the waist, elbow coming into that inner left thigh, and then right back of the right hand to the right waist, and then tucking that right elbow in. And then find the breath. Just breathing into that sensation in the upper body, particularly that outer edge of the shoulders if you're in this broken wing pose. 3 more full breaths. And then gently releasing the arms, if they're in, coming back upright. And coming off your bolster, shifting it slightly behind you for a moment. Place the hands down, fingers pointing back, so you're opening it up across the collarbones, feet a bit wider than the hips, and we're going to take our windscreen wipers here, letting the knees drop over to the right. Inhale through center, dropping over to the left. Inhale through center, to the right, inhale to the left, and just a few more times. And coming back up through center and finishing off there. Just turning to face the front of your mat if you're not already there, and let's extend the legs out long, flexing through the feet here. Let's sweep the arms up, grow out through the waist, inhale, and then as you exhale, folding forward over the legs just to where you can, place the hands down and then sweep the hands back about a forearm's distance behind you, fingers pointing forward, bend through the knees, and then let's lift the hips up, coming into your reverse tabletop, lifting the sternum up towards the ceiling, maybe letting the head relax back. Take an inhale, and then exhale. Bringing the head up, lower the hips down, extending the legs out, taking the arms up, inhale, and then exhale, folding forward over the legs, palms of the hands down, sweeping them back behind you, bending through the knees, lift the hips up, maybe letting the head relax back, inhale, and then exhale, head comes up, hip comes down. One more time, inhaling, exhaling. Sweep the hands back. Fingers pointing forward and lifting those hips up, letting the head relax back. Let's hold it here for a couple of breaths. Keep pressing down through the feet. Take one more inhale and then bring the head back up, lowering the hips down and extending the legs out long, bringing the arms up. We'll take our forward fold and we'll hold it here for a few breaths. Taking hold of the shins, ankles, or outsides of the feet. Trying to press down through the backs of the legs. Muscles at the base of the neck relaxing away from the ears. One more breath here. And then inhale, coming back up. Let's bend this right foot back behind. So you're on the top of that right foot, toes are pointing back. Keeping that left foot flexed. Now this is somewhere where you could use your bolster behind you to lie back. So we're going to keep the legs as they are. We're going to lie down onto our back into this half Virasana position. So when you're ready, take the hands back and starting to lie down onto your back as much as you can. If you need to stay a little bit more upright, that's completely fine here. Arms can stay down by your side, palms facing up, or you could take the arms up behind you, taking hold of the elbows, just closing down the eyes. Just noticing the space underneath the middle back, and just seeing if you can relax those back ribs back down towards the mat if they are popping up. We're trying to keep that right knee Just reaching down towards the mat. So I try not to let that right leg lift up off the mat. Just noticing if you can soften anywhere on the exhale. Just one more full breath here. And then gently releasing the arms if they're up. Coming up onto the forearms and just gently making your way back up to a seated position. Releasing that right leg long. Just taking a little moment, give the legs a bit of a wriggle out. You might just rub the outside of that right knee. And then let's change. So bringing that left foot back behind, on top of the left foot, toes pointing back, flexing that right foot. And you're trying to keep the knees together just as much as you can. They don't have to be squeezing together, just side by side. And then hands back behind you, and then starting to make your way back down just to where you can. Just a little bit of activity through that right foot. So it's not, you're not rolling out, keeping that leg parallel, maybe taking those arms up above the head, holding on to the elbows, closing down the eyes if that's comfortable to do so. And using the breath to meet any rising sensation. Noticing if there's any way you can let go, particularly in that left hip, top of the left thigh. You might feel this a little bit more into the lower back. This last couple of breaths here. And then releasing those arms down by your side, coming up onto the forearms and making your way back up to a seated position, releasing that left leg and then taking a little bit of a wriggle out through the legs. Let's maybe giving that left knee a little bit of a rub. Grab your bolster and bring the bolster just to the front of your mat, and we're going to transition into our half pigeon. So we're keeping the right leg in front. Take this left leg back behind you and then just set yourself up so that your left knee's pointing down, left foot's pointing back, and you can choose to have this a little bit further forward so the shin bone's more parallel to the mat, or you can bring that right heel in just to soften that out a little bit. So just taking a moment, just feeling into that, what works for you. You might pop a blanket or a towel underneath that right hip if you need a bit more support. And just you taking a few moments here upright if that feels possible, lengthening out through both sides of the waist. Taking one more inhale, and then as you exhale, starting to fold forward over this for your front leg, and using your bolster here just for some support. You can come and stay just a bit more upright or lay down onto the bolster. And if you don't need the bolster, then you might just move it out of the way. Just very slightly keeping that right foot
flexed. So you're gently pressing down through the outer edge of that right leg. Staying connected with your breathing. Noticing if you can extend into the exhale. A few more breaths here. Relax the face. Soften the shoulders. And then starting to walk your hands back up. Bringing that left leg back out in front. And then we're going to take a transition. So just take that left leg in front. Just using your hands as much as you need to, coming up onto that right knee. So it's pointing down, and then release the top of that left foot down. And your option, either trying to bring that left shin a bit more parallel, just makes it quite strong. Any issues with your knee, I would encourage you to just bring that left heel in, and of course using some support underneath that left hip if you would like to. Just starting upright for a few breaths, lengthening out through both sides of the waist, thinking about lifting up through the front of the torso. And when you're ready, starting to come down, using your bolster if you'd like to here. Just finding a position that feels right for you. And just noticing if one side feels quite different from the other. And you just might need to respect that. You might need to back out of one side a bit more than you did the other. Or you might feel like you've got more space. Using the breath to try to soften with each exhale. Meeting any resistance in the body with softness and kindness. Backing out if you need to. Last few breaths. And then starting to walk your hands back up. Bringing that back leg back out in front. Giving the legs a little bit of a wriggle out here. And just popping the bolster off to the side for now. Making your way down onto your back. Bringing the soles of the feet together and letting the knees drop open, arms away from the body, palms facing up. Just coming into your Supta Baddha Konasana. Allowing the body to just relax into the ground underneath you. Just feeling into gravity here. And then let's bring the knees back up towards the ceiling. Lift the hips up, take them slightly over to the left, and then bring the knees up to that 90-degree angle and let the knees drop over to the right. Right hand can rest on top of the left thigh. Extend the left arm open to the side. And just turning the head to look over the left shoulder. Just feeling free to keep the eyes closed. And then bringing the legs back up through center, feet down, hips slightly over towards the right, lifting the legs up and dropping the legs over to your left. Left hand onto that right thigh and turning the head to look over towards the right arm. Just allowing the right shoulder blade to be heavy. And then let's bring the legs back through center off the hips. Option here to place the bolster underneath the knees for your Shavasana. So feeling free to do that, making sure that you're warm enough. Letting the legs be at least hip distance apart. Arms a little bit away from the body, palms facing up. Just noticing any points of contact with the back surface of the body and the ground underneath you. And with each exhale, allowing those points of contact to get a little bit heavier and a little bit softer. Just releasing the muscles around the face, forehead, unhinging the jaw. Relaxing the back of the throat. Soft belly. Whole body, letting go. Just allowing yourself to come to rest for the next few minutes. Please feel free to stay resting here for as long as you would like to. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Namaste.